spread rapidly, as Zelensky said Trump was living in a Russian-made, quote, disinformation space, and Trump called Zelensky, quote, a dictator without elections. In recent days, Trump has been reaching out to Russia and pushing for a peace deal, charting a very different course than the Biden administration, which simply dumped billions of dollars in aid to Ukraine to bolster its war against Russia. Bob McGinnis is a retired Army officer, strategist, and author of Preparing for World War III.
Trump is obviously frustrated with Zelensky. Yes, the Russians invaded Ukraine, but the fact is that had things been done differently, this never would have happened. And so we've spent, according to Trump, $350 billion U.S. dollars in bolstering the Ukrainians in their war against Russia.
McGinnis says it is critical for Trump to re-engage with Vladimir Putin.
So, yeah, there is criticism. I think there's anxiety on the part of Zelensky because his nation has suffered tremendously as a result. But at the same time, he has to understand that if the United States is going to continue to pay some of the freight over there to get a resolution that's going to save Ukraine, that we have to have some space. And rebuilding the relationship with Russia is the first step.
I'm Chad, groaning.
A number of illegal immigrants have been sent back to Venezuela following their detention at the U.S. naval base in Cuba. Here's Fox's Eben Brown.
Illegal immigrants taken into custody by U.S. officials and housed at the U.S. naval base at Guantanamo Bay in Cuba are now back in Venezuela from where they came. 177 being housed at the base were flown to Honduras using a U.S. government aircraft and were then transferred to a Venezuelan airline at the request of Venezuela's socialist president, Nicolas Maduro, who requested their repatriation, claiming their detention in Gitmo was unjust. Last week, 2 airplanes from Venezuela retrieved 190 migrants directly from the U.S.
The Justice Department has launched an investigation into United Health Group's Medicare billing practices. That's according to the Wall Street Journal, citing people familiar with the situation. A series of articles in the Wall Street Journal last year showed that Medicare paid United Health billions of dollars for questionable diagnoses. Attorneys with the Justice Department, as recently as January 31st, interviewed medical providers named in the articles. A city official in Washington, D.C. is facing corruption charges. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal.
The U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C. has charged Dana McDaniel with 1 count of corruptly accepting money from one person's businesses, and in exchange, she used her position to direct city contracts to those businesses. She's accused of accepting $10,000 as deputy director of the D.C. Office of Neighborhood Safety and Engagement. While the name of the businesses and the owner were not listed in court documents by prosecutors, it appears that individual is cooperating with law enforcement. It also appears these are the same businesses D.C. Councilman Trayon White was accused of accepting a bribe from. He's pleaded not guilty, but the city council has voted to expel him.
And ESPN and Major League Baseball will end their national television deal after the 2025 season. There was a March 1st deadline for MLB and ESPN to opt out of the final 3 years of their contract. The sides agreed to a 7-year deal in 2021 that averaged $550 million per season. Find more news on AFN.net.
Thoughts of the child you were carrying keep pouring over in your mind. A deep, unrelenting sadness overshadows your days, and you wonder if you will ever feel whole again. There is hope and healing from a reproductive loss. Call the International Helpline, 866-482-LIFE, and talk with someone who has been where you are. Your call is confidential, and we will help you find healing. 866-482-LIFE.
It's First Time Caller Day on Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840.
It is First Time Callers, so start lining up, folks. If you've never been on the show with us, today could be your day.
So First Time Callers only today. Now we're going to ask 3 questions each.
The quack of a duck does not produce an echo. Is that true or false?
That falls under the category of it's just wrong.
And welcome to Trivia Friday. It is Friday, February 21st. Folks, if you didn't get anything for your special person for Valentine's Day, you are a week late. It is First Time Callers. That means the number to call if you have never been on the program with us. It is 888-589-8840. Start lining up. 888-589-8840. Ed Vitagliano sitting in for Tim Wildman. I'm joined in studio by J.J. Jasper. Good morning, J.J.
Great to be here. I hate to start our time by venting. Went to the store yesterday. I'm checking out, and the checkout person, slow, impatient, grouchy. I just thought, I don't think this old man knows what he's doing. So I may never go back through the self-checkout lane.
That delightful laughter you hear is our guest professor, Kendra White.
Hello, good morning. I'm normally filling in for JJ, but it's good to be with you. You're not traveling today, and we are
The rose between the thorns. Hey, you mentioned traveling. If I can give a little shout out to Locksburg First Baptist Church, new friends there in Locksburg, Arkansas. Met Paul Gideon and Brother Ronnie and Donna and John, so many that listen to AFR, so hi to some new friends. And then I'm going to be speaking at Marietta Springs Community Church Sunday, this coming Sunday at 4 o'clock. Melanie and I both will be sharing our story, and that's in Marietta, Mississippi. March the 13th, First Baptist Church in Cabot, Arkansas. April the 1st, Weatherford, Oklahoma. So I love the opportunity to meet AFR listeners.
And that's a good schedule that you've got coming up. And if folks want to find out, maybe they just caught part of what you were saying. They want to know. They heard Oklahoma. Hey, maybe we can try to make that. Where do they go to find the details?
Yeah, calendar is at jjjasper.com, and booking is there as well. If you want me to bring me to your community for a wild game dinner or pregnancy resource center banquet, or like we did in Locksburg Sunday morning, I spoke Sunday morning, and then Sunday evening we had the Valentine banquet, stand-up comedy, and then a devotion, and just some wonderful folks there. I'm still not over that time together. We
Amen.
just had such a – that was my first time to be in Locksburg, and wonderful people in that community.
Amen. Amen. All right, folks, 888-589-8840 is the number to call. It is first-time callers only. You do need to be 11 years old or older to be on the show with us. So we're going to ask 3 questions each, 3 trivia questions. We invite you to call in to answer, and we hope you have a question for us. Try to stump us. See, if some Fridays it's not that hard. You can stump us pretty easily. But sometimes we get the answers correct. So
that's true.
888-589-8840. Now, JJ, one of the questions we have is a mystery question. What does that mean?
It's a very special question. You don't know which one of these original 9 questions, you don't know which one is the mystery question, but if you happen to land on it and answer it correctly, you'll hear this sound. The beloved cowbell. And that means you're going to win a really nice AFR ball cap. Kendra is holding that up if you're watching it. How can people watch as well as listen?
Well, if you want to watch the program, we do have a live video stream at stream.afa.net. That is our own streaming platform, stream.afa.net. And not just this show, other shows throughout the day. Or you can go to Facebook and search for Today's Issues, or you can go to YouTube and search for Today's Issues Live, I believe. And you can get to the live video stream of this program. And you can see the hat. And by the way, Kendra did a great job holding it up.
They call me Vanna White.
And like Vanna, I was just about to say
Kendra
that.
White.
Yeah.
Kendra White, Vanna White.
There we go.
It was a very nice AFR ball cap. If you want to buy one, you can do that. You can go to our resource center, resources.afa.net, resources.afa.net.
Yeah, and if you're watching, you'll notice that one of the 3 professors could be a model, and the other 2 absolutely will never be. What is that? One of these is not like
Not
the other.
like the other. Yeah, it's very easy. You can even tell by the voices which one's going to be, which 2 are going to be not like the other. So, all right, what we typically do is, Kendra, you're our guest professor. We'll let you start off. Then JJ, I'll bring up the rear, and then we will get to the phones. We have people lined up. We'll get there as soon as possible.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, here we go. Your first 3 questions of the day. What was the name of Samuel's father? We know from Scripture his mother was Hannah, which, quick shout out, Hannah's Heart is the radio program that I have on the weekends for couples that are struggling with infertility or miscarriage. And if that's you, come listen to us. Write us. We'd love to pray with you through that journey. But yeah, so first question is, what was Hannah's husband's name?
Hannah's husband, or
It's the same. Samuel's father and Hannah's husband. I'm getting tricky. Okay, question number 2. For those of you that are bakers, how do you laminate dough? And no, you do not use plastic to run it through and
laminate.
How do you laminate a dough? Question number 3. How many bones are in an adult human body? This question is brought to you by my 2.5-year-old.
There you go.
Wow.
She has been fixated on bones for 2 months.
Wow.
We had the scripture, a joyful heart is good medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones.
Oh.
So she said, I want to see dried up bones. I have this girl. You would think if you come to our house that we celebrate Halloween, which we don't. We have posters of bones.
Really?
We have books with bones. We got a little figurine of bones. She wants to, and she'll say,
maybe a doctor.
She'll say, Mommy, are these my phalanges? Is this my mandible? I'm like,
oh, I love it. Tucking her into bed, that little song, the
exactly.
Hip bones connected to the.
So we're stuck on bones.
I want to reinforce what you said about Hannah's Heart. How can people listen? When is it?
Yes, so we are on the weekend. We're also during, I believe it's Tuesday night. We just added a weeknight showing, but Saturdays, 5 p.m. Come listen to us. You can also find us on the podcast page on AFR, and Hannah's Heart at afa.net. We love to email listeners who, if you're right in the thick of it, we actually have a support group if you're in the local area that you can come to, or if you just need someone to call and pray with you, we love to do that as well.
Well, and I don't want to make it sound like we're just doing commercials here, but we do have, American Family Association does have a monthly magazine, the Stand magazine. And the January-February issue, that was a combination issue, is on the pro-life issue. You have an article in there about Hannah's Heart, but also some of those kind of pro-life issues. So folks, go to afa.net. You can sign up for the magazine. And we got lots of great content to push out there to folks who are hungry to learn. So.
Yeah, thanks for the shout out.
Hannah's Heart, if you've struggled with infertility, if you've had a miscarriage, if you know someone, all of those issues and anything there in the outlier, boy, they minister.
Adoption, fostering.
Oh, that's it. All of those. Well, thank you for what you do, your team there for that program. Here's my 3 questions. First question. What is the middle color in a rainbow? And just a little reminder, there are 7 colors in the spectrum. They always appear in the sky in the exact same order. Yeah, I just found that out today. Isn't God amazing and so specific and so consistent and detailed? Every time you see a rainbow, the colors are in the exact same order. What is the middle color? That's my question.
That's a great question.
Second question from the Bible. This is a little lengthy. Moses was prevented by God from actually going into the promised land. This was due to an act of anger and disobedience. What did he do? What did Moses do to keep him from crossing over the Jordan to go into the promised land? Third question, true or false? It is illegal in Thailand to step on money. It is a criminal offense. It's illegal in Thailand to step on money. Is that true or false?
Oh, those are great questions. All right, here are my 3. First question. This one's a little bit hard, but folks, you can look up answers on the internet. We have no problem with research here at this school. Here's the question. Amelia Earhart vanished in the South Pacific on her around-the-world flight. Her navigator perished with her. What was his name? What was the name of Amelia Earhart's navigator who perished with her on her fateful flight? Second question, what are the 3 layers of our planet? What are the 3 layers of our planet? If you peeled it like an onion, there are 3 layers. What are they? What are the names of those layers? And then third question, generally speaking, this one might interest your daughter. Generally speaking, the length of a person's foot is the same as their forearm. Is that true or false? Generally speaking, the length of a person's foot is the same as their forearm. Is that true or false?
And you got a little help with that question. A friend of ours sent that.
Yes, John.
Oh, nice.
Yes, I actually have tip of the hat to John. John Evans sent that in. Thank you. I had a note, and I missed the note.
Well, I saw the little yarn tied around your finger. I thought that's probably for something.
Yes. I forget a lot of things nowadays. All right, let's start off. Go to the phones.
Okay, first off, we have Megan from Indiana. Megan, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful. That we love our first-time callers. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hey, Megan, what part of Indiana?
Colfax, just south of Lafayette.
Yes. Well, I know you have some snow because my family across the river there in Owensboro, Kentucky, they have snow. What's it look like? How many inches did you guys get?
We just have a dusting right now, but it's pretty cold.
How cold?
Well, I think it's about 22 without the wind chill.
Okay. I know across the country, a lot of people have been shivering. Well, do you want to ask, answer, or do both, dear?
I'd like to do both.
Which one you want to answer?
Okay, I can answer the one about the dough.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yes. How do you laminate a dough?
You fold the dough over butter, and then you fold it over again and roll it out, refrigerate it, and keep doing that over and over.
Yes,
ma'am.
You got it.
Wow.
My mouth
I've
is
never heard of
You're
that.
making me hungry.
It makes that flaky, anything that's
Yeah.
flaky, it's through that process.
Oh, wow.
Megan, you nailed it.
All right.
Yes.
Well, and hey, listen, anytime you add butter to something, it's going to come out tasting.
Praise the
tasting.
Lord.
Now,
Praise the
Megan,
Lord.
do you do a lot of cooking? Obviously, you must be doing some if you know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I do some. Yep.
All right.
Megan, my 10-year-old, one of my 10-year-old twins, Tegan, a couple of years ago, she started getting interested in baking. Now she's all in. She's hooked on baking, and she, on her own, 8, 9 years old, baking cakes, baking this, but she's got on that kick about making bread and keeping something alive. They tried the starter, something or other. It's over my pay grade, but I hear them talking about, oh, have you gotten it out of the refrigerator and taken it for a walk and fed and watered it or whatever you got to do to keep that thing alive? So you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't. I have no idea what you're talking
Megan knows, and I'm sure all the bakers and cooks out there know what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, good old sourdough.
Sourdough. There you
Sourdough.
go.
All right. I love sourdough bread.
What's your question for us?
All right, my question is, where is your peduncle located?
Peduncle.
Pardon?
Yeah. Peduncle.
It's an actual thing.
Okay.
It's somewhere in your body.
The peduncle. Man, I can't even.
Well, it's not connected to the hip bone.
Right.
Or
I
head.
think you got us stumped.
Yeah.
And I'm doing my best not to go in that old codger voice because I got about 3 things competing, coming out the screen door and getting on the porch. But I'm biting my tongue.
Censoring.
Hey, what's the answer? What's the answer, Megan?
It's in your brain.
In your brain.
What is it?
Yeah, what?
I'm not exactly sure. All I know is that it's shaped like a little foot, and so that's where the name comes from. The root is Latin, the peduncle.
That's good information.
my
Right
word.
there
Wow.
next to the sourdough starter.
Yes.
Hey, Megan, stay warm, stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening to AFR.
Man, that's great.
It's a real peduncle scratcher, isn't it?
Yes. I'm gonna have to throw that into a conversation. All right, where do we go next?
Let's go to Carrie in Texas. Carrie, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Woo!
You made it, Carrie.
Yes, sir.
Where do you live in Texas?
McKinney, north of Dallas.
Ah,
Okay.
I've been there.
All
It's
right.
beautiful.
All right, Carrie, you want to?
I have, yes. Our show,
Nice.
Ryan DeFrades, Secret Agent, that American Family Studios produced. Our partners
yeah.
are in McKinney.
Oh,
We had some
wow.
meetings there.
Wonderful.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right.
There's a song about McKinney, how it goes.
No.
Sing it for us.
Secret Agent Man. Agent Man.
That's about McKinney, Texas?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
That's the other kind of secret
Gary,
agent.
ask, answer, or do both.
I would like to ask a question.
Okay, what's your question?
How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?
Here's the deal. We ain't going to be able to answer that. Doe shut that department down. They had given them $16 billion to do that research, and right about the time they had it figured out, Elon took his big old chainsaw and that big brain of his, them young brainiacs, and they said, nope, we ain't never going to find out. Y'all are running through the taxpayer money. This ain't your money. This is the money of factory workers, salesmen, farmers, and ranchers. So you're done on the woodchuck chucking.
The question, though.
All right, you're going to have to school us, Carrie.
Yeah, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
If a woodchuck could chuck wood.
That would be as much wood as a woodchuck could if a woodchuck could chuck wood.
Oh, that's a good
Okay.
answer. And we got that for free.
Yeah.
No taxpayer money, no woodchucks harmed.
That's right.
Thank you, Carrie. Have a great weekend.
Let's go to Bill in Texarkana. Bill, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Hello, how you doing?
Wonderful. Are you staying warm?
Yes, trying to.
Good.
Bill, I spent the night in Texarkana this past Saturday night and Sunday night, and I forgot how big Texarkana is. You got a nice town there.
Yeah, it's pretty good size. I live on the Arkansas side.
I stayed over on the Texas side. As far as I know, it's a little hard. I wonder how you guys do, like, your taxes and your car tag, because if it's not competitive, everybody's going to go across the street and say, here's what I want to do, instead of paying this much. But I saw, where I saw mostly Texas license plates, mostly Texas tags.
Yeah, Texas side is a lot bigger. They don't have a state tax. So.
Yeah, that's what I wondered, how that worked on a, and those of you that don't know, the state line goes right down the main drag right there, and on one side of the street is Arkansas, the other side of the street is Texas. How unique would that be?
Yeah, that's odd.
And I think it's like that in Virginia with that. Where's that big racetrack in Virginia? Like you got Bristol, maybe Bristol, Virginia, and Bristol, Tennessee, or something there where it's the same kind of thing. It's like Texarkana.
The state line splits the city.
Splits the city.
And I guess in 4th grade, when you learn your My State facts, you have to do double duty if you're in Texarkana.
Hey, Bill, ask, answer, or do both, sir?
I want to ask.
All right, what's your question for us?
Nolan Ryan had a lot of records as a pitcher. And, of course, he's retired now. But how many strikeouts did he have total?
Was it 5,000 some odd, Ed? Let's talk among ourselves. Seemed like I remember when he hit the 5,000 mark, that was a pretty big deal.
I have no idea, but that's probably as good a guess. That's
because he had
5,000 and then he kept playing?
Yeah, he had 4,500 more than most. Yeah. No, I'm just trying to remember. Just like I'm not real sure about that Bristol. I'm trying to wonder if that's the right city. But what do you think about Nolan?
Let's go with 5,000.
5,000?
We'll go with 5,000. You have a different guess?
Crickets from Vanna White over here.
Okay. What's the answer, Bill?
Yeah, the answer is you're close. 5,714.
So he did keep pitching.
That's incredible. That guy was a machine. And he kept throwing at almost the same speed his whole career. Yeah. It's just, almost no let-ups.
I got to see him pitch one time.
Yeah.
In person.
How was that? Was that pretty cool?
That was interesting. He got thrown out of the game for hitting a batter. Hit him twice.
Hit him twice.
They throwed him out.
Whoa.
Oh, my goodness.
Not the same at bat, but, different bats. But.
Right. Well,
that'd be pretty bad if he hit him twice.
I don't want to get hit by 100 mile an hour.
No.
Anything. I don't want to get hit by a marshmallow being thrown 100 miles an hour.
And that's why there's things you don't do. You don't insult the cooks at a restaurant. You don't, pull on Superman's cape, and you don't make Nolan Ryan angry when you're up at bat.
Yeah. So, hey, Bill, thank you so much for listening to AFR, and God bless you there in Texarkana. Have a great weekend.
All right, let's go to another one. Let's go to Josh in Ohio. Josh, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning.
Good morning. What part of Ohio are you calling from?
I am from Marysville, Ohio. We're home of the Honda plant. We make a lot of Honda cars here, and also famous for Scott's Miracle-Gro Company.
Okay.
Oh, all right. So do you have a good lawn, Josh?
Hey, not really. I live out in the country, and I have a lot of weeds in there, but I have a pretty green lawn.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, you're the new vice president. Sure made you guys proud.
Oh, yeah. That's right. He sure did. He's doing a great job.
We agree. Mm-hmm. Hey, you want to ask or answer or do both, Josh?
I would like to do both, please.
Which one do you feel confident about?
How about the Bible question about Samson's father?
Yes.
Oh,
Okay. Not Samson, Samuel. Who was Samuel's father?
I'm sorry. I heard that one wrong.
Well, go ahead and tell us who was Samson's father. Go ahead.
Yeah, who was Samson?
Okay, so I know Samson's father was Manoah.
That's correct.
So, and boy, I must have heard that wrong there. So
No, you want to pick another one?
Yeah.
Listen, that's easy to do. You pick another one that you may feel comfortable about.
How about the one of the true-false question about the foot in the forearm?
All right. Well, here's the question, Josh. Generally speaking, the length of a person's foot is the same as their forearm. Is that true or false?
I'm going to say false.
It is 100% true. I know it's hard. It's hard to believe. I had to look that up. You know, sometimes I get trivia questions. Like this one was from John, and I'll look it up just to make sure. And
you don't have to look it up. You got to lift it up. Just put your foot right.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've done it
now
before.
It's your
That's
foot.
too much work.
It's at
From
your
the wrist?
At your wrist.
Yes.
The bottom of your hand to the crease,
crease.
in your
yes, in your elbow.
there.
Yeah.
Elbow.
So next time you're in shoe carnival, just set the shoe right there on your arm, and you don't even have to try it on.
Don't have to put that big silver thing. Put your foot down in that. Hey, Josh, thanks for listening to AFR. God bless you,
Does
buddy.
he have a question for us?
Josh,
oh, yeah, you have a question for us?
Yes, I do. It might seem simple, but it might be more difficult than you think. What color hair does a polar bear have?
Well, you would.
All right, we're going to talk amongst ourselves, Josh, for a second.
All right. I think it's clear.
It's
okay.
clear. Yeah. And it's white, and it reflects the light.
Crazy.
And so it looks white.
Right.
I'm going to go with y'all.
Yeah. All right, how'd we do, Josh?
Hey, you're right on target. It is clear. It's the same as a snowflake. Snowflakes aren't white. If you pick up a single one, it is clear. But packed together, it looks white. And how about a bonus? What color skin does a polar bear have?
Black.
Black.
Yes, you're exactly right. You guys are with it.
Well, we both own a polar bear. Don't tell FEMA, but Ed's the one that got me turned on. He's got some polar bears in his backyard. I said, man, that's nice. I could be the only kid in my neighborhood that's got a polar bear.
Well, I started
Please don't
off
tell
with,
any authorities.
I started off with polar bears and alpacas, but now I just have polar bears.
Don't. Hey, have a great weekend. Thanks for listening, Josh.
Okay, let's go to Lori in Texas. Oh,
I'll tell you
out
what,
of time.
let's go ahead and start our break. And when we come back, folks, by the way, you are listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. JJ, Ed, Kendra, when we come back, we'll reset our questions and we'll continue on. We will go to Lori in Texas and a bunch of other folks lining up. It is first-time callers today. The number to call if you've never been on the air with us, 888-589-8840. That's 888-589-8840. We look forward to taking your call after the break. We hope you'll join us.
It's my turn.
Here is your host for My Turn, Don Wildman.
Sometimes as we travel down life's road, the going gets rough. The sailing isn't always smooth on the sea of life. Sometimes it gets kinda bumpy. There are 3 things we can do in life when the going gets rough. One thing we can do is to resign. And you'd be surprised at the number who take this course of relief. They will lead the parade when the going is easy and smooth and everything is in good order. Yes, sir. They'll strut high and mighty as long as there's a band playing and the streets are lined with folks shouting hoorays. But let difficult times set in, and they're nowhere to be found. Usually those who resign when the going gets rough are those who come in for purely selfish reasons. They only wanted to get something for themselves, not willing to make any sacrifice and not desiring to make the road any smoother. They check out when the going gets rough. Another thing we can do when the going gets rough is to become resigned. Did I pronounce that right? Let me say it again. Another thing we can do when the going gets rough is to become resigned. We can cry and weep while repeating the worn-out phrase, "Well, it has always been this way and always will be this way." And, I guess, if it's left up to them to change matters and make them better, they're right. Things always will be this way, for they certainly aren't going to put forth any sweat to make them better. It takes no great effort to accept things as they are and not try to make them any better. We can become resigned real easy, and a great advantage to this is that we can quit without checking out. We can stay in and do nothing. Seems to be several of those folks around, doesn't it? I said there are 3 things we can do when the going gets rough. The third thing is this: we can become re-signed. I borrowed some money from the bank once. My note was made out for a year. At the end of the year, I had paid most of the note back, but some of it I had to carry over. A new note was made, and I had to re-sign it. The old signature was no longer any good. Many of us need to get a fresh signature on our credentials. Once I had to go to a notary public to get a paper notarized. I noticed that on the notarization, the notary public had written, "My commission expires on," and it gave a date. You know, perhaps we're operating under an expired commission. Maybe we need to re-sign. When the hard times come, I want God to know He can count on me. He didn't run out on me when the going got rough. He stuck it out, even to the cross. And it would be mighty little on my part if I backed out on Him when the going got rough. I want Him to know He can count on me when the hard times come. When the going gets rough, we can resign, become resigned, or we can re-sign. Those who resign or become resigned never help the cause. Those who re-sign do. Take up your pen and put a fresh signature on the dotted line of life.
This has been My Turn with Don Wildman, a production of the American Family Association.
Jesus said, "Let the little children come to me, and do not hinder them, for the kingdom of heaven belongs to such as these." Matthew 19:14.
American Family Radio.
Do it, Ed. Do it for your old friend.
Kato, this is your employer speaking. Kato,
Classic.
does your dog bite? You have any last songs for that Minky? You know, it's been so long since I've done that. I need to watch a couple of those movies to get back into it.
Or buy some insulation.
Yes.
There you go.
That's true. That's from the Pink Panther movies, and there was cartoons when I was in high school or whatever. And
right.
They were funny. So that
Hey,
we always come back with some kind of.
We got some special guests to stop by. We got a studio audience listening.
That's right. Kyle and Michelle McAdam from Belle Plaine, Kansas, stopped by and took the tour. They came in and we got pictures with them, whether they wanted to or not. That's what we do. So we do welcome you to come through, to take a tour of the building. We do ask that you go to afa.net, and where it says contact us, you can just fill in a little, it's not really an application. You're not borrowing money, or anything like that. But we do like to know who's coming and when, try to make sure someone's available to give you a tour. And we do hope that, folks will be here. Sometimes we have people out. Fridays are kind of a lot of people working from home on Fridays. So
not anymore after Doge. Everybody's come back to work. Yeah, they're outside Wichita, and we love our Kansas listeners, and you're
especially you, JJ. You've got political plans to maybe run for office.
I'm going to be governor one of these days, whether I like it or not, there in Kansas. And no, I've been to Salina, Newton, and Hutch, and McPherson, some of our wonderful friends, Russ and Lori, and all the ones there from Kansas. But I'll be there this summer in Newton. But yeah, great folks here from Kansas. And as Ed, I want to echo what you said. We love people that come by. They're on their way to the Gulf Coast to go to the beach or whatever. Yeah. And we have listeners from all over the nation stop by.
Yep. If they're close within a state or so, sometimes people will just drop in. Hey, let's make a little trip into Tupelo and see the building. We give some swag. You get, free popcorn, and then we have a few gifts for you when you come through. So, I mean, nothing that you can sell on eBay, but it's a nice reminder of your visit here to American Family Association and American Family Radio. So, again, our salute to Kyle and Michelle McAdam, and we're glad they stopped by. All right, it is Trivia Friday. Ed Vitagliano, JJ Jasper, Kendra White. We're going to go ahead and reset our questions, and then we will get back to the phones.
Okay, question number 1. What was Samuel's father's name in the Bible? Hannah, it was her husband and Samuel's father. How many bones are in an adult human body? And I will add one more. Who is the second oldest person in the Bible? Everybody knows about Methuselah. He gets all the street cred.
Yeah.
But
so you're looking for the silver medal winner.
Exactly.
Yes. All right, go ahead, JJ.
Here's what I've got. First question. What is the middle color in a rainbow? 7 colors in the rainbow. One right smack dab in the middle.
And they're always in the same order.
Always in the same order. Boy, God is precise. What is the middle color in a rainbow? Second question from the Bible, a little lengthy. Moses was prevented by God from actually going into the promised land. This was due to an act of anger and disobedience. What was the act? What did Moses do? That's the question. What did he do to keep him from going over into the promised land? Third question, true or false? It is illegal in Thailand to step on money. Is that true or false? It is a criminal offense in Thailand to step on money.
You always have the best true-false questions. All right, here are my 3. First one, a little difficult. I do invite you to look this up to find the answer. We encourage research here at Learning University. Amelia Earhart vanished in the South Pacific on her around-the-world flight. Her navigator perished with her. What was his name? Second question, what are the 3 layers of our planet? If you were going to peel it like an onion, you'd be in a Marvel movie, first of all. But what are the 3 layers that you would find of our planet? And then I will add a question. What is the only country to have played in every single soccer World Cup? What is the only country to have played in every single soccer World Cup competition? So that's what we've got. Now, who are we supposed to go to?
Well, we're actually going to go to Christopher. We're coming back for you, Lori, but we're going to go to Christopher in Texas. Hey, are you with us?
Yes, ma'am. How are you?
Doing
Howdy.
wonderful. Good morning.
Where do you live in Texas, Christopher?
I am from Milano, Texas. Tim would know where it's at.
Okay. Atlanta, Texas?
No, Milano.
Okay. All right. Actually, I thought you said Mylanta. Every once in a while, you got to take a dose of Mylanta.
I'm just thinking of the Milano cookies, the little chocolate. Ooh.
Oh, there we go. We're all over the place. Hey, Christopher, where is that? If we're looking at the tiny state of Texas, looking at the map, where are you?
Near Bryan College Station. Y'all know where that's at.
Okay, yeah. The football fans for sure know. All right, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
I would like to do both, but first I want to tell you guys I am super excited to get on. I've been trying for 10 years.
Woo!
Wow. That's exciting.
10 years.
All right, Christopher, ask, answer, or do both?
I think I can do both.
Which one you want to answer?
I can go with JJ's Rainbow or Ed's 3 Layers of the Earth.
Well, you decide.
All right. I'll tell you what, Christopher, since you've been trying to get on for 10 years.
Here we go.
All right. Whichever one of those two questions you pick, if you get it right, we're going to send you a ball cap.
Oh, I like it.
All right. Now, folks, the rest of you who've been trying to get on for 10 years, this is a one-time per show deal, so it's going to Christopher. So, Christopher, you better choose wisely.
Shoot your best shot, Christopher. Which one you feel most confident about?
I think I can do the Earth's crust.
All right. What are the 3 layers of our planet, Christopher, for an AFR travel cap, ball cap?
The core, mantle, and crust.
That's right.
Very nice.
Core, mantle, and the crust. You've won yourself an AFR ball cap. Good work.
Here's the deal. I'm glad I didn't yell out epidermis like I was going to. Now, hearing the real answer, I'd have been embarrassed, and I'd have embarrassed my kinfolks as well.
Hey, Christopher, good work, sir. What's your question for us?
Well, I'm trying to find out if you're American when you go into a restroom and American when you come out. What are you when you're in the restroom?
If you're American when you go into the restroom and American when you come out of the restroom, what are you when you're in the restroom?
I know the answer. This is a little bit. Yeah, we might want to just keep on going on this one.
Oh, is this?
It's fun, but it's just teeny tiny bit locker room.
Oh, Christopher, don't make me withdraw the hat, man. You know there are children listening. Do we want to just forego the answer?
Let's
to this?
forego it. But listen, Christopher, you stay on the. That is funny though. But listen, you stay on the line and let us get your address to send you that hat. Thank you so much for listening to AFR.
Yeah, we do, folks. We just encourage our listeners. I know, so you may think we're being too strict, but we do have a lot of children listening.
Yeah, it's harmless, but just a little close to the edge would just, and then we struggle. You and I and Tim struggle getting too close to the edge almost every Friday.
Right, because we frequently speak without thinking. So
yes.
All right. So anyway, good work, Christopher, on winning the AFR travel cap.
And keep listening.
Where do we go next? Back to Texas is killing it.
They are taking over today. We've got Lori. Lori, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning.
Good morning. What part of Texas are you calling from?
Corpus Christi.
Okay.
All right.
Well, did you have in mind to ask, answer, or do both?
I'm going to do both.
Okay.
Which one do you want to try to answer, Lori?
I want to answer Kendra's question about the human bones.
Okay, Lori,
Great.
How many bones are in an adult human body?
Is that 206?
That is correct.
Hey!
Wow.
And the cowbell question.
You know what the cowbell means, Lori?
Yes, that was the mystery question.
Great
So
job.
I'm a winner.
Yeah, you are.
Just won a nice AFR ball cap, Lori. Boy, there's back-to-back. Two Texans in a row to win a ball cap.
That's right. Now, Lori, we do want to tell you, just to encourage you, you're a winner whether you answer the mystery question or not. You're still a winner. But on top of being a winner, you get a hat to put on top of your head. How's that?
So you'll want to stay on the line. Stay on the line so we can get your address to send that to you. Did you have a question for us, Lori?
I do. This might be easy. I know it's easy for most people here in Texas, but what is the meaning behind Corpus Christi?
That's you mean what does the name mean?
Like the Latin?
Yes.
It's Latin for body of Christ, right?
Absolutely correct.
Yeah, okay.
Good job.
That's a great answer. Great name for your area, and you got a great place to swim there too. There on the beach.
Lori, hey, well done. You got the mystery question. Congratulations on the AFR ball cap. I'm going to put you on hold.
I think she has a question for us, right, Lori? Did you?
That was it.
Oh, she just did it.
Christi, yeah. And Cindy Roberts will get your information, and we'll get that out to you in the mail.
All
so
right.
Good work.
Let's go on to Alabama to Harry. Harry, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Well, hi, everybody. How's it going?
Doing good.
We're trying to stay warm, Harry, just like those of you in Alabama. What part of Alabama?
Well, I'm just a stone's throw from Roll Tide, T-Town.
There you go.
Okay.
Little town called Coker.
All right.
And yeah, it's great out here. I'm so blessed. Now, I haven't been trying to get on for 10 years, but I've definitely been listening for over 10 years.
Well, thank
Wonderful.
you.
Thank you.
We love our listeners. Thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
Harry, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
I would like to do both, but I've got a friend here that wants to speak to you, Ed, if you don't mind. For just a moment.
I don't mind. Sure. To whom am I speaking?
Well, you'll know as soon as you hear him.
Okay.
Yes, Mr. Vitagliano.
Yes. Who is this? Is this is this Columbo?
I think it's Sean Connery.
Yeah, it is Sir Sean. The reason I was wanting to speak to you was because I have a bit of a bone to pick with you.
Okay, you get in line.
My friend here was listening to one of the hilarious highlights, and I wasn't very hilarious when I heard that. I'm going to be the first one to say that I don't always make the best decisions either. Being an alien god wearing a giant diaper was not my finest hour, but by the name of the rose, and this is no hunt for our Red October, I don't believe I ever said, "Ag, my name is Sean Connery."
Sean, I do apologize. My ability to imitate famous people is very limited. And I think I do remember doing that and wound up sounding like a pirate rather than Sean Connery. So my humble apologies to you, sir. You're one of my favorite actors.
Wow, what a nice job there, Harry. Hey, what's your which question you want to answer?
Well, all right. I would like to answer the Kendra's question about Samuel's father.
Okay, who was Samuel's father in the Bible?
It was Elkanah.
That's correct. Great job.
Excellent job.
Yes. And now I have one. If you remember the opening of the $6 Million Man, and that was actually live NASA footage of that wreck, that plane wreck. But it was interesting that the real $6 Million Man in that particular incident actually walked away from that crash, and his name. Do you know his name?
No, we're not going to know that.
Is it Chuck Yeager?
No, it wasn't Chuck. No, he successfully flew the Bell X-1.
Right.
No, it was his name was Bruce Peterson, and he actually did walk away from that. But that was actual NASA footage.
Wow.
That was in the first scene, the opening scene.
And you see him, I can see him running, that $6 Million Man. You got to be pretty old to remember that.
Yeah.
Hey, we got to move along, Harry. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening to AFR.
And say hi to Sean for me before we
that was a real good
Yeah, it was very good.
Did.
He did a couple of lines from movies that Sean Connery was in.
Right.
Hey, let's go ahead and reset our questions for the last time this half hour, and then we will go back to the phones.
Okay, I have who was the second oldest person in the Bible, and I'll add just one more since we're almost out of show. Scooby-Doo was what kind of dog? What breed of dog was Scooby-Doo?
Here's what I've got. I haven't had a nibble on mine yet. What is the middle color in a rainbow? There's 7 colors in the rainbow. What is the middle color? Second question. Moses was prevented by God from actually going into the promised land. This was due to an act of anger and disobedience. What did he do? What did Moses do to keep him from going into the promised land? Third question, true or false? It is illegal in Thailand to step on money. Is that true or false?
All right, here are my 3. I'll have to add a question. Amelia Earhart vanished in the South Pacific. on her around-the-world flight. Her navigator perished with her. What was his name? That's a little bit of a difficult question, but just look up Amelia Earhart and on the internet, and you should be able to find the answer to that one. Second question, what is the only country to have played in every single soccer World Cup? And here's the one I'll add, a little bit of a geography question. Which continent is in all four hemispheres? Which continent is in all four hemispheres? You're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. Ed Vitagliano, J.J. Jasper, and Kendra White are your professors because Trivia Friday is also called
Learning University.
Way to go on that one, JJ.
A little bit of sleep at the switch over here.
All right, where do we go next?
Let's go to Lloyd in Tennessee. Lloyd, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Welcome. Thank you.
Hey, where do you live in Tennessee, Lloyd?
Camden, Tennessee.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We see you when we're driving on 40 there going through. See the signs for Camden.
Hey, Lloyd, you want to ask, answer, or do both?
I want to do both.
All right. Which one do you want to try to answer?
The Moses question.
All right. Here's the question. Moses was prevented by God from actually going into the promised land. This was due to an act of anger and disobedience. What did he do, Lloyd, to keep him from going over into the promised land?
He spoke unadvisedly with his lips.
Well, not exactly. Not the answer I'm looking for.
Hey, good guess, though,
yes.
Lloyd. What's your question?
And you're in the right ballpark there. But
Looking
what's
for a little more
your
specific.
what's your question for us?
Well, let me hit my answer real quick. He struck the rock twice.
That's it.
There you
yes,
go.
sir. There you go.
That's it. Way to go.
That's the answer. God told him to speak to the rock.
Yes.
But he struck the rock. And that act of anger, and he struck it in anger. That anger and disobedience kept him from going over to the promised
And by
land.
the way, I've read excellent, of course, commentaries and sermons on that. And the reason why Moses, at least this is what the people believe, is the reason why God punished Moses for that is because in the New Testament it says the rock was Christ, and he was struck once by being crucified, and that was the first time that Moses struck the rock earlier on their journey.
Previously, God told him to strike the rock.
Previously, he told him to strike the rock, and by striking it again, it, in a sense, stained the imagery of Christ being crucified one time. He was to speak to the rock because the provision had already been made by the crucifixion. Anyway, that's a little mini sermon.
Deep. That's good.
But it's what I've read about it. So people who are listening say, well, why did God get so upset at that? Now, it was simple disobedience, and he should have.
But we talked about that Sunday at Wednesday night church about how it felt a little bit like that the punishment didn't fit the crime.
Yeah.
You don't want to question God or
Right.
get struck by lightning, but you thought, boy, that felt like overkill.
Yeah.
But then different ones were tying it to his holiness, and then Moses was at a different standard, so he had to be obedient in every single thing because all of Israel's looking to him. And if you're going to fudge a little bit, cut a corner, that's not a big, it's a little white lie or it's a little pet sin. And he's like, no, I hate sin, and I'm going to punish it in an extreme way. So, hey, Lloyd,
that's good.
Lloyd, what's your question for us?
Okay, my question is sort of like the rainbow question you have. How many parts, major parts, or periods are there to the Bible?
How many parts, or say that one more time?
Major parts, yes, major parts.
How many major parts
Distinctive.
of the Bible are there?
That are distinctive, yes, like an anatomy. A human body has parts, major parts, and then it has parts attached to the parts. So I'm looking for the big picture, the overview.
Are you talking about testaments, that there's an Old and a New Testament?
Periods. No, it
I think he's talking about
the periods.
our friend Stan May.
periods of time.
Came up with those periods in the Bible, in the chronological study Bible, and I can't remember how many there are.
Well, yeah, you know what? You can't go wrong with saying 7.
Hey, what's the answer, Lloyd?
Okay, the answer is 4.
Okay.
And what
and
are they?
And they have a beginning and an ending, each one. The beginning is Eden. Eden had a beginning and an ending. And the ending is the beginning of the next part, which would be patriarchal. And the ending of patriarchal would be the beginning of Levitical. And the ending of Levitical would be the beginning of Melchizedek or Christian, which is where we are.
That's
and
okay.
We're the
Yeah,
end.
that's
It's
good.
the Christian age. It's the Christian age. You had the Christian, the Jewish, which would be Levitical, the patriarchal, which would include Abraham and his Jacob and his sons, and so forth.
Okay.
Very
All I
interesting.
know is I'm glad we're not in Levitical because I don't want to show my rash to anybody but my doctor. I
Hey.
don't want to have to go to the priest.
Thank you, Lloyd. God bless you, and stay warm there in Tennessee. Our friends Stan and Iva May put a Bible together, and it was those same periods. They listed more, but they had creation, patriarchal, and then they went down through there like that and saying the Bible is one long story.
Yeah.
And if you can realize it's God's revealing himself to his people and doing things in these different periods, if you will, then it's not just random things here and there out of context, but it's the
continuous.
Yes, the continuity is there.
Right.
And that's a great, the chronological Bible.
Amen. Amen. All right, let's continue. Where do we go next?
Let's go to Dwayne from Mississippi. Dwayne, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Good morning. How you doing?
Wonderful. Hey, welcome to the show. We love our first-time callers. Where in Mississippi are you calling from?
Calling from the Kiln.
The Kiln. Tell our listeners. Tell our listeners one of the most famous quarterbacks ever from Green Bay who was born and raised in your neck of the woods.
They claim it's Brett Favre.
Yes, sir. Brett Favre from right there where you are. Hey, Dwayne, ask, answer, or do both?
Do both.
Which one you want to answer?
Well, I was going to do the Moses thing, but that got taken, so I'll do the Scooby-Doo.
Okay, sir. What kind of dog was Scooby-Doo?
I believe he was a Great Dane.
That's correct.
Nice.
Good job.
Nicely done. Do it, Ed.
That's how.
Rut.
That's Christopher Walken, too.
Hey, Dwayne, what's your question for us? Maybe we can answer it quickly.
Okay, I don't know if any of y'all are wrestling fans, but John Cena holds a record for the number of world championship titles at 16. Who is he tied with?
Hulk Hogan.
Is that correct?
Yeah, we'll
That's
go
your
with
answer?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll go with Hulk Hogan.
I'm just throwing that out. That's the only wrestler I know.
No.
What's the answer?
Actually, it's Ric Flair.
Okay.
Ric Flair.
Great.
Okay.
Hey,
All right.
thanks, buddy.
Question.
Have a good one there. Stay warm.
All right, folks, we're going to take a 5-minute break for news. You're listening to Trivia Friday on American Family Radio. When we come back, Ed Vitagliano, J.J. Jasper, Kendra White will continue your edumacation. Hope you'll join us.
The views and opinions expressed in this broadcast may not necessarily reflect those of the American Family Association or American Family Radio.
Faith, family, freedom. American Family Radio. When you hear us mention the AFR app, you probably think about your smartphone. We do have apps for Apple and Android users, but it doesn't stop there. If you have an Alexa, we've got you covered. But wait, there's more. Sorry. There's also an AFR app for Roku or Apple TV. So many ways you can listen to your favorite show, podcast, or music. Find out more at afr.net/apps.
This is American Family Radio, a listener-supported ministry of the American Family Association.
For American Family News, I'm Chris Woodward. President Trump called into Fox News Radio's The Brian Kilmeade Show this morning and spoke about the hostage situation between Israel and Hamas. The president says he spoke with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu about this and said he's very angry about the return of bodies of 3 hostages, including 2 children.
He is very angry. He's a very angry man at what happened, especially what happened yesterday with these kids. They were babies, and it's rough stuff. It's rough stuff, and it looked like they were celebrating as they were bringing the bodies back.
Prime Minister Netanyahu has vowed revenge against Hamas after the terrorist group did not return the remains of the mother, whose 2 children's remains were returned. Hamas said in a statement they would conduct a thorough review of the information regarding the body. An immigration enforcement organization is praising Governor Ron DeSantis and the state of Florida for enacting strong immigration enforcement legislation. AFN's Chad Groening has more.
Governor DeSantis recently signed into law a sweeping package of immigration laws that will help President Donald Trump carry out his mass deportation agenda. Florida's new legislation mandates the death penalty for immigrants in the U.S. without legal authorization who commit capital offenses, such as first-degree murder or child rape. It's a provision that goes above and beyond Trump's executive orders. Ira Melman is media director for the Federation for American Immigration Reform.
Now that they have a partner in Washington, they are going to do their fullest to try to protect the people of Florida from illegal immigration. They're going to deputize the police in Florida to get the 287G training.
Melman says that's a federal program
that trains local law enforcement to identify people who are in the country illegally and detain them. He actually had to overcome some resistance from the Florida legislature that tried to protect the agricultural industry, but he seems to have overcome most of those obstacles.
Melman says while Florida's newly enacted immigration laws include most of what Governor DeSantis wanted, they do not address remittances, expand the state's E-Verify law, or give the governor the power to deport illegal aliens out of the country. I'm Chad Groening.
United Health Group is denying a report in Wall Street Journal today, saying the Department of Justice is investigating United Health for its Medicare billing practices. In a statement to AFN, United Health calls this misinformation, adding that any suggestion that our practices are fraudulent is outrageous and false. The news outlet stands by its reporting. The last Delta passenger hurt in Monday's crash in Toronto has been released from the hospital as the first lawsuit has been filed against the airline. Here's Fox's Tanya J. Powers.
Marthinus Lawrence of Texas has filed suit against Delta Airlines in federal court. He was a passenger on board Flight 4819 that crashed in Toronto on Monday, coming to rest upside down, sending 21 people to the hospital. There were no deaths as a result of the incident. The lawsuit says Lawrence, who was traveling for business, quote, suffered significant injuries to his head, neck, back, knees, and face, and was suspended upside down, drenched with jet fuel. The suit also names Endeavor Air, a Minneapolis-based Delta subsidiary, as a defendant. It comes after Delta's offer of $30,000 payouts to each of the 80 people on board with, quote, no strings attached.
The U.S. Supreme Court says people left waiting for months on their unemployment claims during the coronavirus pandemic in Alabama must be able to sue the state over the delay. Today's ruling reverses an Alabama Supreme Court decision that found the plaintiffs must go through an unemployment agency appeals process before they can sue. The plaintiffs said they'd waited for months for a ruling on whether they qualified for benefits, while others never got a decision or saw their benefits stop without explanation. In final news, the national average for a gallon of regular gasoline today is $3.16. That's roughly the same price as last week and cheaper than it was this time last year. The price of diesel, meanwhile, is $3.69 a gallon, also cheaper than this time last year. Find more news on AFN.net. When you're there, be sure to subscribe to our free daily email news briefs. You can also like us on Facebook and follow us on X. Thanks for listening.
What we believe about the Bible is based on what we believe about its source.
The God Who Speaks, the award-winning documentary from the American Family Association, is now available in a special limited edition DVD set. This release includes a Sunday school curriculum and 2 hours of additional footage. Go to thegodwhospeaks.org to get your copy today. thegodwhospeaks.org.
This is Trivia Friday. The number to call with your question or your answer to a question is 888-589-8840. Now, back to more Trivia Friday.
And welcome back. Ed Vitagliano sitting in for Tim Wildman this week. I'm joined in studio by J.J. Jasper. And Kendra White is our visiting professor here at Learning University. You're listening to Trivia Friday on the American Family Radio Network.
Ed, we were talking about different eras in the Bible. Little shout out. My friend, Dr. Stan May, his wife, Iva May, they were on the mission field for 5 years. He's a professor at Blue Mountain Christian University, a pastor at Emmanuel Baptist Church in Olive Branch, Mississippi. For 10 years or so, they've been compiling a study Bible. It just came out a little over a year ago from Tyndale, the one-year chronological study Bible, and their premise was that the Bible has the different eras. If I can just make mention quickly, 14 eras, ERA, in the Bible: the creation era, patriarch, Exodus, conquest, judges, kingdom, divided kingdom, captivity, return, the silent era, the gospel era, the church era, missions era, and then the end and beginning era there in Revelation. But you won't find their name anywhere in this. They're so humble, and this was just something they wanted to do for the kingdom.
Wow.
And the Bible just crossed the 100,000 mark. 100,000 people have purchased this, and I've heard from so many people who say this is their favorite study Bible, the one-year chronological study Bible from Tyndale, and the author, if you will, the ones that put it together.
Compiled,
So
they can just get
an hour.
that on Amazon?
That's right. You can get it anywhere Christian bookstores are sold. Tyndale, the one-year chronological Bible study.
Very cool.
I read through this year or 2 years ago when it first came out, and I was very, very impressed with the commentary. And then as you study and just see it you just see the continuity of the Bible. It just makes it easier.
So it has commentary and some insights.
And it's chronological. You'll have Genesis, and then, here's a Psalm dropped in there. Oh, there's Job, where it's supposed to be in the chronological, and then it really ties it together.
That's so awesome.
Thanks for letting me do that little
absolutely.
plug. They really do love the Lord, know the Lord, and they really want God's Word to get out there more in every form.
Amen. All right. Let's go ahead and finish up our Trivia Friday. We're in the last segment. We've got a little over 20 minutes remaining. Where do we go next?
Should we reset our questions? Do we need to?
Well, we'll come back.
Okay.
We did that just before the break.
Okay, let's go to Jacob. Jacob, welcome to Trivia Friday. Tell us where you're calling from.
I'm calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. How y'all doing this morning?
We're doing wonderful. Good
Great.
to have you here. Well, would you like to ask, answer, or do both?
I think I'll go ahead and do both.
All right. Which one do you want to try to answer?
I was going to do the rainbow question, but I think I might leave that for someone else. So I'll try the continent and the 4 hemispheres.
All right. So, Jacob, which continent is in all 4 hemispheres?
I'm thinking it's got to be Africa, right?
It is. It is Africa.
Nicely done.
Good work. It's in all 4 hemispheres. It's humongous. Sometimes the maps, the way they're laid out, they don't. The continents are not as large as they appear.
Sure.
And so it is in all 4 hemispheres. Did you have to? Did you guess that, or did you just look it up, or you just
I honestly
know it?
did guess that. I'm kind of a geography nut myself. So.
Nice.
Here's the deal. So y'all telling me that Africa is the Winslow, Arizona of continents?
Right.
All right. Hey, Jacob, what's your question for us?
All right. There are 2 states in the U.S. that do not observe daylight savings times. What are those states?
All right,
I'm
we're
gonna
going to
answer
talk
for the
amongst
team.
ourselves. Okay,
Arizona is one, and then either Indiana, half of Indiana, I think, is the other. It's Indiana or Illinois. Do you guys know?
I think you're right about Indiana. I think
Indiana
Sounds
and
right.
Arizona.
Did we get it right?
Oh, wait, I think Hawaii is one. But, and then you don't want to say Canada since it's not a state yet. Hey, I'm torn now. I'm thinking Hawaii. I know for sure. I'm going to say Hawaii and Arizona.
That's the 2 I found online. So, yep, that's right.
There's something about Indiana.
Hawaii. Indiana, half the state used to do that.
not the
because
whole
I
state.
lived in Kentucky, and I know that they did that for a while.
Yeah.
but I don't know that they're not, since it's not the entire state, maybe
I've
not.
heard talk of them changing it though for like 2 or 3 years that it's going.
I'm ready
daylight
to
savings
do
time
that.
is going away.
People complain about it all the time.
Yeah.
And Congress is. I don't think Congress is ever going to do it.
I think so now.
You think
I
so?
think we got a shot at
they
it
might.
now. That's right.
All right.
Hey, thanks, Jacob. And did you? Thank you for listening to AFR there in Baton Rouge. Have a great weekend.
All right, let's go. You mentioned. Let's go ahead and reset because
They wiped me out.
You wanted to add some.
They
So
wiped me out. Y'all are
let's go ahead
doing
and do
great. Okay. Still remaining the question: who is the second oldest person mentioned in Scripture? New question here. What is the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? There are many differences. If you can list one, you can get that.
Okay.
One you say after a while. The other one you say see you later. That's the main most difference right there.
That's an important one.
Any elementary kid will tell you that.
An important feature. And one more question. What is the longest bone in the human body?
Longest. All right. So again, from
one more shout out to my daughter there.
Oh, I
All right,
like
AJ.
it. Well, here's first question. What's the middle color in a rainbow? What's the middle color in a rainbow? Second, true or false? It is illegal in Thailand to step on money. Is that true or false? And then I'll add one. We're talking about body parts here a lot. What is the largest gland in the human body? What is the largest gland in the human body?
All right. I have 2 remaining. First question, Amelia Earhart vanished in the South Pacific on her around-the-world flight. Her navigator perished with her. What was his name? And then second question, what is the only country to have played in every single soccer World Cup? All right, let's go back to the phones.
Okay, let's go to Lee. Lee, tell us where you're calling from.
Whitewater, Kansas. Just about 10 minutes from your guest there in the studio.
Oh, wow.
Oh, all right.
So,
We'll tell them you said hello.
They're shaking their heads right now.
That's Kyle and Michelle. All right.
Okay.
You want to ask, answer, or do both, Lee?
I'll do both. I was going to add just a little bit to a question you had a couple weeks ago about Wilbur Wright and the bicycle shop.
Okay.
Did you know that he was still alive when the atomic bomb was dropped?
Wow.
Wow.
Can you imagine the changes that he saw?
And for the record,
Yeah.
he's not the second oldest person in the Bible.
Yes.
That's
just
right.
for the record.
Well, you know what?
No,
It's a long life.
Lewis, it's Lee.
Lee.
I want to add to that. A lot of times you don't hear the backstory that you say, boy, this really connects the dots. Their dad was a pastor. So with us listening who know the Lord, and you pray for your children, you pray for your grandchildren, God use them to glorify you. Bless them, bring them the right spouse, do all this. And they heard the gospel, and they were raised in a godly home. And you know their dad prayed over them. Lord, do something with their life.
Amen.
Do something to glorify you and to advance the kingdom. And look, and they're working in the bicycle shop. And look what great thing God hath wrath.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know, whatever that thing,
Yeah.
those first words when the what do you call it, the telegraph, whatever that's the first thing
what
that he typed up.
Great thing God has wrought.
Has wrought. Yeah. And so, for him to be able to take a couple of guys working in a bicycle shop and be able to be the first in flight.
That's amazing.
But who knew they were alive when that happened? Wow.
You
that
look
was
behind-
1945. So that was, they were adults when I don't know how old they were.
Well, you know they must have flown on a DC-3 or something and said, hey, guys, thanks for taking our idea and tweaking it.
Tweaking it.
Pass the peanuts.
Wow.
All right, Lee, which question you want to answer?
The oldest one in the Bible, the second oldest in the Bible.
Okay, who is the second oldest person mentioned in the Bible?
Well, I had to ask my wife, so I give her credit, but she said Jared.
You are correct.
Wow.
Methuselah was 969. Jared was 962, but gets no cred,
Yes,
does he?
That's right.
Followed up by Noah, then Adam, and then Seth.
Get a lot of credit for diamonds and Subway sandwiches, but not for living a long time.
So 962.
962.
Wait, what do I get?
Yeah, he's 7
962.
years away.
Here's what he got. He started getting that check at 65. You had that money up, boys and girls. He was smiling.
That's why we're trillions in debt.
Somebody named Jared is still getting it.
Still getting it. Great job, Lee. Tip of the hat to your wife.
Yeah.
Who knew the answer.
What's her
to
first name? Give her a shout out.
Sharon.
Thank you, Sharon.
All right, Lee, what's your question for us?
Well, we run a little small feed yard down here. I've been chopping ice on tanks because it's been super cold around here. But what's the most popular cut of beef on a steer?
Most popular?
In a restaurant.
Now
the most popular cut of beef.
On the deer, it's the back strap.
Yeah.
But on the, or what are we thinking? Sirloin? Are we thinking ribeye? What's the most?
Is it filet mignon?
Filet mignon's my favorite.
Let's go filet
Come
mignon.
on.
That's the most expensive, it seems like. So maybe that's the best cut. How about filet mignon?
Yeah, that's the best tasting one. The most popular ordered is the ribeye steak.
Maybe
Really?
price. Maybe most
Oh, yeah,
popular
maybe.
by
Yeah, that's my favorite.
affordability.
Where is that on the cow? The ribeye.
Around the rib area.
Yeah.
Somewhere there.
Yeah, well,
Between
that's
the rib and the eye.
well, that's my
Yeah.
favorite right there. All right, buddy.
That's a
Thanks.
good
question.
steak.
Thanks, Lee. Thanks for listening to AFR.
Okay.
Folks, you're listening to Trivia Friday. We are coming up towards the end of the program, so we hope you get some of these questions. And so who do we go to next?
Okay, we have, is it Lois from Iowa?
Yes.
Lois, welcome to Trivia Friday.
Thank you.
I think this is our first caller from Iowa
It
today.
is. Now
Where do you live in Iowa, Lois?
Sioux City, Iowa.
I got to know, how cold is it? Have you guys, how much snow have you had with this recent blast that came through?
Very little snow. We've been fortunate enough to have very little, but we're getting really cold. We've had like 20 below at night.
Woo! I knew it.
Very
was
little
frigid.
snow, 6 to
Yeah.
7 feet most.
Yeah, yeah. Well, bless your heart. That's a lot of that's cold. You want to ask, answer, or do both?
Answer.
Which one you want to answer?
Hopefully I get it right. The rainbow, the middle color.
Here's the question, Lois. What is the middle color in a rainbow?
Hopefully it's green.
It's green.
Good
Nicely
job.
done.
Wow.
Now, do you know all 7 colors, Lois?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna.
You're not going to try? Well, here.
No, I'm an artist, so I do know them, but I probably take a while for me to think of them all.
Here they are in order, and I did not realize that they're always in the same order, and that makes sense, like God putting the planets up there, the sun coming up in the east each time, but starting from the top, it's red, orange, yellow, green, there in the middle, blue, indigo, and violet.
It spells Roy G. Biv. I always pretended he was a person. Now, how you
Roy
remember Roy G. Biv, I don't know. But
Yeah, you got to remember that part. Well, did you say you don't have a question for us, Lois?
I've tried to get through so many times that the one question I was going to ask, I forgot the whole question.
She's so excited
if
it
it's
happened.
Yeah, if it's any consolation, Lois, 1 out of 3 times that I walk into the kitchen, I say, "Now, what did I come in here for?"
And it's not just the kitchen. It can be my office, it can be my bedroom. What am I doing here?
Bundle up, stay warm, have a great weekend, and thank you for listening to AFR, Lois.
All right. Where do we go next?
Let's go to Norman. Norman from Mississippi. Welcome to Trivia Friday. Where in Mississippi are you calling from?
I'm from West Point.
All right.
Wonderful.
Welcome to the program, Norman. You want to ask, answer, or do both?
Well, Lois spoiled my question, my answer. She was exactly right.
Now, were you guessing, or did you know it, Norman? Did you know that green was the middle color?
No, I Googled it.
Listen. We encourage that.
That's right,
Yeah.
research.
Yep.
Do you have another question you may know?
Well, I know a lot of stuff, but I wanted to ask you guys a question.
Ask away.
All right. What did God say about man after he had created him?
He said that he repented or regretted that he made us. I know that's one thing that he said. He said a lot of things about us, but he
said that man was good after he made man.
Oh, yeah,
immediately.
that's right. This is good. But then a little later on, as we got closer to the flood, and he saw that everything in the man's heart was wickedness, and he said he regretted or repented that he'd made man. I don't know if that's the question you're looking for, Norman.
But he did say it's good. So
very good.
Very good. So we got two choices, two answers. Either one of them right, Norman?
Not quite.
Which one are you looking for?
He did say all of that.
Yes, sir.
The one I'm looking for was God said, "It is not good for man to be alone."
Yes, that is
good.
right. That's what he said.
Yes, sir. All right, buddy. Thank you.
And I'm glad that he made woman.
And he went on to say,
so are we.
He who hath found a wife has found a good thing. So I hope you appreciate your Proverbs 31 wife there, Norman. God bless you. Have a great weekend.
All right, well, let's go ahead and reset our questions for the last time. We come towards the end of the program. Let's, for those who are just about to be on with us, maybe they have forgotten and want to take a shot.
Okay, I have 2 questions remaining. What is the difference between an alligator and a crocodile? And what is the longest bone in the human body?
Oh, here's what I've got. One left. What's the largest gland in the human body? What is the largest gland in the human body?
I have 2 remaining. First one, Amelia Earhart vanished in the South Pacific on her around-the-world flight. Her navigator perished with her. What was his name? And then second question, what is the only country to have played in every single soccer World Cup? All right, let's go back to the phone.
Okay, Pam, tell us where you're calling from.
Hi, I'm calling from Fairhope, Alabama.
Wonderful.
Hey, Pam, I hear from so many people that talk about how idyllic it is and that movies are made there and people go there because you just have like a little slice of heaven. It's like Mayberry. Is that right?
We do. I've joked with friends and said it's the Norman Rockwell town of the South.
That's what I hear. I've never been. Fairhope. But people say that they've come and made movies there because it's just so clean and just like she said, Norman Rockwell-ish.
Well, where is it? If I'm, as Tim always says, if I'm looking at a map of Alabama, where is Fairhope?
We are across the Mobile Bay from the city of Mobile, so we're called the Eastern Shore.
Okay.
And then I may be way off on this, but New Orleans gets all the Mardi Gras cred. But I want to say Fairhope had the first Mardi Gras before it was even famous. Am I right about that?
That is incorrect. Mobile, the city of Mobile.
Mobile. Okay, but Fairhope's the one I've heard that's just like Mayberry and a little slice of heaven. We need to come see you sometime. Hey, you want to ask, answer, or do both, dear?
I'm just going to answer this time.
Which one?
And the question about the largest gland.
Here's the question. What is the largest gland in the human body?
It's our skin.
Well, that's what I thought, but the answer I have here is the liver.
So it is. I looked this up on when I was looking for bones. It is the largest organ.
The skin.
Well, skin is the largest organ.
So you.
So I gave away my answer.
Yeah. What was the
largest gland in the human body is the liver.
All right. So what is a gland? Is something that secretes something? Is that what a gland is?
I'm not sure what it is.
I don't know, but you have to have them felt in your little throat, right?
Yeah.
Not what they feel your little glands.
To see it, pituitary, it's those others. Well, hey, listen, thank you, Pam. God bless you. And boy, the Lord's placed you in a beautiful place to live. Yeah, the largest gland in the human body is the liver. The largest organ is the Wurlitzer. Oh wait, that's another. Never mind. The largest organ is is your skin. The old epidermis.
Take care of it. Scrub it good.
Yeah. All right. We're next.
Okay.
Where to next?
Let's go to Shauna, or is it Shayna in Arizona?
Arkansas.
Hi,
sorry,
Shayna
Arkansas.
in Arkansas.
Shayna, sorry.
No problem.
What
How are y'all this morning?
What part of the state are you calling from?
The very cold part this morning.
Ooh,
yeah.
okay.
How cold?
Let's see. I think this morning when I looked at the thermometer, it was like 18 degrees, and that's because it's warming up. The last few days it has not been there.
Oh, all right. Now it's supposed to. Now here, I'm just tossing this to all of you. You can answer as well, Shayna. Is that it's supposed to warm up here next week, even up into the 70s. Is that warming going to happen all over the country, or is it just in the South? Do you guys know?
Look over here at this green screen. I'm hearing that exact same thing, that everything's going to move to the east in about 24 to 48 hours. If you'll watch the green screen, I'm moving my hand. It's all the high pressure, the low pressure, everything's going to come through here. Move
middle pressure.
Move this winter vortex on out of the way.
Good work. All right.
I'm looking forward to it, whichever part of the country it's supposed to be
Amen.
to. I think we can use some of that.
I'm with you. All right. You want to ask, answer, or do both?
I'm going to try to answer, and then I want to ask.
All right. Which one you want to try to answer?
The football one, the soccer one.
Oh, okay.
Although, honestly, this is going to be purely just because I have not Googled it. But if I were guessing...
All right, let me go ahead and ask the question again for those just tuning in. What is the only country to have played in every single soccer World Cup? What do you say?
Okay, I'm guessing Brazil, but I'm a little worried.
It is Brazil.
Wow. Nice.
Well
done, Shauna.
Brazil is at the top of that list. It's always in, and they take pride in their soccer down there. So
That's good.
Good. Listen, you said it was a guess, but it's a good guess.
Yeah. Shauna, we can't send you an AFR cap. I wish we could send you a carton of eggs. That would even be a better gift.
And some bread and milk.
But, yeah,
Well, you guys sent me a cap and a travel mug back last year sometime, and they're great. I was going to say thank you. I love them.
Well,
awesome.
Well, you just gave a little plug for maybe somebody who wants to go to our store and get one, you know.
Resources.afa.net, resources.afa.net if you want to buy one. And we have an excellent thumbs up, 2 thumbs up.
Now, did you have a question for us?
I did, yes. So in some of the modern translations, we are seeing the omission of sacred names, and it starts to cause doubt of the trustworthiness of these modern translations. My question is, which version omits the names of Christ or titles of deity 176 times?
Is that brand new version that came out that we're having some real problems with, that
like
woke
the message.
version?
Yeah, I don't know. What's the answer? Is it Shauna or Shayna?
It's Shayna.
Shayna. Okay.
Shayna, what's the answer? Shayna?
Okay, so the answer is going to be the NIV.
Really?
Wow.
So there's a newer version of the NIV, and I think you're talking about maybe some of the words like are you talking about like where Yahweh would be, and they replaced it with just
God,
Lord or God or something like that?
I have a rundown here. We have Jesus missing 36 times.
Oh, that's
we
not
have
good.
We have Christ missing 44 times.
Okay. Hey, Shayna.
There's the music.
We've got to give the answers to our remaining questions. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for listening. We appreciate all our listeners. Sorry to kind of rush you to finish things up. We got to give the answers to our questions.
Okay, the longest bone in the body is the
femur.
Femur, correct. And alligators and crocodiles, their snouts are different.
Yeah.
The shape is U or a V. That's just one of many ways that they're different.
I'm out. How about
all right, Amelia Earhart, her navigator who perished with her, his name was Fred Noonan. Nobody ever talks about Fred Noonan, just like the guy who lived 962 years.
Jared.
And
say his name, Ed. Say his name.
Hey, I'm gonna be at Marietta Springs Community Church in Marietta, Mississippi. Melanie and I both, 4:00 this Sunday evening for a message and a meal. You're invited.
Thanks, everybody.
A vacation with a purpose.